And let's get you details of how the Gujarat High Court has made observations on the Morbi Bridge Collapse compensation. Now, the High Court has lashed out over the compensation given to the victims' family members, saying that the compensation that's been given is abysmal. The High Court has also said hope and trust that the state will immediately bestow reasonable compensation to injured, though it may not be commensurating with disability incurred, but would compensate for probable financial loss resulting from the injury. The High Court has also asked for a detailed report on the dependents of the 135 families who have lost their loved ones in this tragedy. The interim report, however, doesn't give details of these families, and that's why the High Court has again reiterated we want those details. Now, the High Court has said if 8,000 rupees is taken as base income, then compensation will be around 15 lakh each. And so they've said you must come out with a policy on compensation. Several examples that the Gujarat High Court has given of the huge tragedy of boat capsizing, saying come out with a policy on compensation to ensure that victims get their due, to ensure that fairness is given as far as this compensation is concerned. So the High Court, which has been extremely critical of the government on the handling of the Morbi collapse, has now lashed out over compensation as well. Anisha is joining us with more details on this elaborate, detailed observations that the court has made, Anisha, where they've questioned why there's no policy right now to cover compensation to ensure adequate, fair compensation is given to the victims' families.
Well, yes, as we speak, the hearing is currently on in the Gujarat High Court before the bench of Chief Justice Arvind Kumar, and very clearly the court is not happy with how the aftermath of the tragedy is being handled. The court very clearly has said that there needs to be a policy in place with regard to the regulatory mechanism for management of such bridges. There has to be a policy in place for compensation. They have said that the compensation given to the deceased at the moment as well as to the injured persons is abysmal, and that is the exact quote. The court has used the word abysmal to describe the compensation that has been paid. In addition, they have also asked the Nagar Palika of Morbi to explain exactly how the MOU was signed and the contract was given to this particular private company, especially as the petitioners have pointed out that in the FIR, the name of the company and its directors is missing. The court has also directed that, and this is an order that has been passed by the court, that it is high time that all officials who are either monitoring, managing, controlling or administering such bridges across the state of Gujarat should ensure that the bridges in their jurisdiction are in proper condition. So the court is also making it clear that the state authorities need to learn from this tragedy and ensure that any other bridges in the state are being properly maintained and are being properly monitored. The Secretary R&B, the Secretary Roads and Bridges, has been directed to give a report on how many similar such bridges are present in the state. And as we speak, the court is asking questions of the Nagar Palika of exactly how was this contract given and what process was followed. And they are not happy with the way this entire issue is being handled. Of course, on the issue of compensation specifically, it has been directed that the state must come out with a policy on compensation.
Okay, Anisha, thanks for those details. Extremely important points that have been made right now by the Gujarat High Court, where they've said very clearly and unabashedly that we are very upset with the kind of compensation that's been given to the victims' families. It's not enough. They've also said that there's a need for a very constructive conversation and a policy to be framed on ensuring adequate compensation in cases of these tragedies.